Hello, everyone. How are you? Cannot believe that it is almost New Year's. I wanted to bring some things to your attention for anybody that may see this regarding another missing child under very suspicious circumstances. So, this is a child in my former um, regional area in New York State. And she is 14 years old. Her father and stepmom have been pleading and begging for people to please help them. I've noticed some shocking differences between the current case of Sebastian Rogers and their family compared to what's going on with Emmarae's family. So she is a 14-year-old girl. She was last seen with her stepmom. However, the difference is that she went outside and was spotted on a surveillance camera. So we will go over a couple of the quick interviews. We are very concerned that this young girl is being held against her will and could be in danger. Keep Hope Alive, 845. I used to really enjoy doing things, but now I'm on, the rest of the side of the country. I'm on halfway across the country. So this is all I can do to help in my home state is try to get a couple people to please look into this story, get this girl's name out there, and let's look and review a little bit of the interviews that her mom and that the dad, Frank, and the stepmother did immediately. By the way, immediately, they didn't wait; they were immediate. So let's go over here. There's a lot of rumors going on, like always, about her because she did have a ankle monitor to, it's like pins petitions. When kids are going through a hard time, if they've gone through trauma, it's really hard for teens, as you're working through your hormones and you're going through all of the feelings of going from a child to a woman, and then you have trauma from being abused or something happening to you as a child. It could be all kinds of different things. And she was getting the counseling that she needed and doing really well, doing therapy with horses and looking at it like a runaway and like everything's fine is not a good idea in this situation. And I don't think in any situation. So I am hoping that we will see a Sebastian Rogers law that comes into place when any child is missing, especially children with autism or special needs, that you immediately investigate it as if it's a crime scene. Because way too often our youth are just considered runaways. And that's really disheartening. Really disheartening. Let's go over to this interview here by the mom and stepfather. One moment. Let's see. Why are you not loading? Here we go. I'd like to point out the date of this was just a few days ago, but the first interviews that the father and stepmother did were within a day or two of her disappearance.
She was last seen on Monday, and now her family's off.
Now at 4:30, the search for a missing 14-year-old girl on Long Island.
She was last seen on Monday, and now her family's offering a reward to bring her home safely. News 4's Paisy Chang has their plea from Patchogue. Paisy?
David and Natalie, they're so puzzled because, the girl had just called her father, was asking him about dinner. She seemed happy. And then she went outside to look for something in a car, and then she was gone. And now the family is fearing the worst.
Thankfully, there's
Emmarae
Dad.
Gervasi has been hitting the streets.
Just take a walk through the alleyway.
Following up on tips, desperately searching for his daughter, 14-year-old Emmarae Gervasi. She was at home in East Patchogue on Monday with stepmom Allison. That's the last time they saw her.
She said to my wife, I'm just going to check the Jeep. Again, she was wearing no shoes and a T-shirt. So my wife's like, all right. So she went outside to check the Jeep and she vanished.
The Gervasis don't know if she left on her own or was kidnapped. They believe she got into this car. Emmarae was wearing a court-monitored ankle bracelet for at-risk kids. Her dad says it was cut off and thrown away near the house.
I'm starting to feel the worst, that, I may not get her back. I don't know where she is. There's no sign of her right now. And she hasn't reached out to me, which is odd.
Emma has been in therapy and seemed to be in a good place, which makes her disappearance more puzzling. While Suffolk police are investigating her disappearance, her family is following their own leads and are praying for her safety.
Just come home. You're not in any kind of trouble. We just want you home safe.
I love you so much, Emma.
Oh, it's so heartbreaking. So heartbreaking. I really hope that people are paying attention and they can get this young girl's name out there, because it's been, I think, 19 days since she was last spotted and 21 days total since this happened. We're going to go look at another interview that was done. But as you can see, the difference with Emma last being seen barefoot is the fact that she was seen. There is a vehicle seen leaving the area. The parents were frantic. They're at the media. They're begging for help. They don't know what happened to her. They're worried she could be getting hurt. She could be held against her will because it didn't make sense the way that she left. So let's look at this other interview. Let's see. Hello. Where did it go? Here it is. Okay. My little girl's therapist is just leaving. Go say bye to Wendy.
Raise awareness about a missing girl. News 12's crime reporter Krista McNally sat down with the family who's pleading for help.
We just want her back.
A family in Patchogue begging for the safe return of their daughter, Emmarae Gervasi.
It's a terrible feeling. Not know who your child is, not know who she's with, what they're doing to her. It's an awful feeling.
Her father and stepmom say the 14-year-old was home on Monday, went outside without shoes or a coat, and got into a black car.
Emmarae's father has been searching throughout Suffolk County since she's been missing.
You know, as a dad, you do anything you got to do to save your kid.
In his black pickup truck, Frank Gervasi has gone place to place, combing through the streets, hoping to find the teen.
It's exhausting and it's terrifying, to be honest with you.
The family tells me Gervasi experienced significant trauma at a young age, but was recently doing well.
She's a beautiful little girl, very smart, very determined.
She's absolutely great with the horses. I went there with her every day.
The teen goes to daily horse therapy to help her heal from her previous trauma. Meantime, Suffolk Police Fifth Squad detectives are investigating this case, and the Gervasi family is offering their own $10,000 reward for her return.
I'm hoping she returns safe at home. No questions asked.
In Patchogue, Krista McNally, News 12 Long Island.
All right, let's see. Let me pull up some of the dad's videos so you can see Frank giving updates on his daughter. And I can't help but notice the contrast compared to Sebastian's mom and stepdad and how that all was in comparison to how they're trying to find, Emmarae. Let's see. Had all the tabs open. I don't know why they are not working. No idea. All right, let's see. Just wanted to show the updates from him, and then I'm going to be coming back because there's a bunch of stuff I want to go over with the Sebastian Rogers disappearance, and some. I don't want to tie them too, close together. I want to separate it. All right, let's open this part. Over here. I think I'm going to have to end up just logging into the Facebook or make another Facebook.
December 26th. Hello, today is December 26th. 18 days today. And we still continue. My daughter's been missing 18 days today, and we still continue to search. But as we go through searching and starting to look through her social media, more and more and more and scrutinize some of the guys that have been on there, I come across a guy by the name of Sick Cheddar, S-I-C Cheddar. I'm going to show you his photo now. I want everybody to see that. So this guy's been all over my daughter's feed for the last year or so. He's a full-ass grown man. And whether he took my daughter or not, I don't know. But apparently he's looking for me. And that raises a couple of weird suspicions in my eyes that I'm not a very hard guy to find. So, Sick Cheddar, I know you're watching this, but if you feel man enough and you want to come talk to me, my name and number is all over social media. Not very hard to find. You don't have to troll around behind my back and text people, hey, do you know this guy? And you know this guy, what's up with this dude? Like, just be a man, even though I know you're not, because you DM 14-year-old and 13-year-old girls, you're a fucking pervert. However, if you feel man enough, hit me up. You got my Instagram. I'll even give you my number, 631-294-0265. So if you got something to say to me, you can give me a call. You can come find me. I'm sure my address is all over social media. Anytime you feel.
So this was one of the people that had been on her Facebook page. Why I'm really trying to discuss this with more people, especially those of you that are from our home area, right? The abductions and things that are going on are really serious, and I don't see them getting any attention like I feel they really need to. And I understand that we don't want to watch things and talk about things that can bring us down and, can be depressing. And it seems like there's always so many missing persons, whether they're the elderly or children. And usually they end up being custodial disputes or runaways. And then the real traumatic usually ends up being with children that elope and have, profound autism. And then they end up eloping and we find them in lakes and bodies of water. But the kidnaps and stuff that's going on is really serious. See, a couple years ago, there was a young lady in Middletown, New York, that was taken right from in front of her job. And most recently in Hyde Park, New York, there's been a man that comes to different schools covering his license plate, and he approaches the children. Whenever an adult goes near him, there is a couple times that he said he was an Uber driver. Okay, you notice, remember there's a little connection of an Uber allegedly with Sebastian Rogers as well. And then he takes off. And the police have put out, information on this person as well to be cautious, careful. And it just seems to be a growing trend. And when you have these young teenagers that are just adding everybody and anybody to their social media, you don't really know, So I think it's important to remember that they are children. She's only 14. She's not a grown woman. She's still a child. She's going through becoming a young lady. And the same with Sebastian. He's a 15-year-old now, 16-year-old, but he's still a child with or without the autism diagnosis. They still need to be protected and looked for. And I don't think that it's good to just roll our eyes and keep scrolling, because you never know. You never know. Especially with Sebastian, which I'm going to do a video next, that I am really concerned is the fact that he, in my opinion, looks absolutely nothing like his current physical appearance, looks nothing like what we've been seeing on the Amber Alerts and most of the flyers since his disappearance, where we see this child, right? We see a child in these flyers, a small little, child that looks maybe 12, 13 years old. And in fact, when you look at the Texas Roadhouse footage, it is very clear that he's tall, his shoulders are very broad, his face is more defined, and I would never have thought they were the same if you're actually really looking when you're out and about. And that's concerning to me. So I wanted to raise some questions on that and find out, what that's about and why. Why is there so many differences between other missing children and how the parents and families are immediately in the public asking for help, crying, saying, they don't have any idea. And then you have this situation where even the car is caught on surveillance, okay? But with Sebastian Rogers, it seems like it's been a psychological warfare propaganda campaign coming from all directions. And, so many people, your sole focus has been to find Sebastian. And I understand that we should always keep spreading information for Sebastian. And there has been a real effort to silence people that have been. But at the same time, can you consider including some of the children that are missing currently in the beginning of your updates and things possibly? Because you're saying you're missing person channels, investigative channels, searchers, drone searchers, boots on the ground. And I see people out here that are doing nothing like that. And it really begs the question, if they're doing a movie, are they manufacturing content? What is going on? What is going on? It's very blatantly obvious that something just does not add up with the behavior and the mannerisms of the mother and stepfather, the Proudfoots and the Bowersocks, in the way that they've handled everything. And I'm not saying that the bio dad for the father of Sebastian, was acting normal, but you can't gauge normal. What is normal? I mean, it is what it is. But I don't see anything like this. I mean, the mother is the one that gives the picture to police, isn't it? Don't you give the picture and say this is the last known picture? Do school districts not give you a card that actually takes the picture of your child? So if anything happens, you have a current updated photo and information to give law enforcement. There's a lot of weird things with that. And so I'm just asking that people keep an eye out for her. I don't think she ran off willingly. I don't think this is a typical runaway situation. I think that she might have, gotten herself around and talked to some people that are not good. You never know. Sometimes people will meet you on the buy, free trade sites and, and marketplace and all kinds of stuff. And there's just something about this with her that I really feel like it's important to get her picture out there with all the things that have been happening and the abductions and stuff. And keep your eyes open for her. There is a $15,000 reward for, Emmarae. And all I can say is I pray that she's located like all the missing people. They all deserve justice. They all deserve to be found. And it's really just a sad situation. So I will be back later and we will discuss what I want to talk about with Sebastian, probably in about 10 to 15 minutes. I just need to do some tech stuff and find out how come all my tabs are malfunctioning when I hit the live button. Take care, everyone, and thank you very much. The links are in the description and in the chat.